Hey, what's going on, everybody? It's BDF44 coming at you with another video. All right, so I wanted to just first of all send absolute and utter condolences to Young Dolph, his family, and all of the people that cared about him, and everybody that is affected by his passing. Sending healing energy to the state of Tennessee and everybody around there who's hurting right now. And you know, I just recognize this to be uh, yet another senseless act of violence um, that has plagued this culture of ours called hip hop. Um, you know, I was a fan of his music. I use a lot of his music in my playlist. And, it's just very sad to see yet another great artist, meaningful, impactful artist, taken out in this way. Um, it's just senseless. Senseless. There's so much going on surrounding that situation. I think about his children. He had two young kids, his wife, and what she stands for. You know, in her program, black men deserve to grow old. How ironic that is what she's working on, and the fact of the matter is that she lost her husband in this way. Uh, Obviously we saw footage of what took place. If you've been following the situation, essentially, he was gunned down as he was buying some cookies for his mother at a local cookie mart, cookie store rather, uh, black owned. You know what I mean? A place that was named after a young lady who was lost her life to cancer. So this is a terrible situation, man. No telling if that business is going to be able to be reopened at all. But even more so, it's just the trauma of the situation altogether. You got the footage out there. I myself clicked on it, saw it instantaneously because I was on my phone at the time and saw the footage. It was just a horrific scene, and we've seen so many different things like this that have desensitized us. And this situation just felt like, for myself, Nipsey all over again. Having seen the footage of that and him outside of his business over here in LA, uh, and then to see Dolph and his situation and how that panned out, and then we see the photos of the shooters, and all of that, and then you have the entertainment aspect of it, which is basically also an aspect of the conversation that I think is important. Uh, Soldier Boy, legendary artist. I'm not gonna take nothing from Soldier Boy. I don't think anybody in this culture can. He's already solidified as somebody who's been influential in his genre and in the region that he's raised in. And he has been influential, and he's constantly out here trying to prove his importance and solidify his respect and prove his who he wants to stand to be. And I just feel like at this point, he had just recently got into it with Young Dolph, and he said some things online that could really implement him if this thing goes forward, which everyone would imagine it will. And right now, he's been dropped on a couple of different uh, tour dates that he has going on in the Memphis area because they don't feel like it'll be safe for him to come there. I saw footage of him, online, you know, uh, just not saying a single word, but rolling up a backwood. We know what that means. Everybody in this culture knows what goes on. We know what time it is with that. It's just, I don't know how far he's willing to take this fame thing, this trolling thing. I know he's trying to solidify himself as a combination of both someone who should be taken seriously and somebody who will take it so far as to entertain you. And a lot of people out there saying he didn't do this, he didn't do this. I also see the pictures of him dressed up as in the same clothing as the picture of someone who shot as one of the shooters. Now, I don't know if that picture was taken afterward, taken before, if it's coincidence, if it's him trolling, or if it's actually what this obviously doesn't appear to be to anybody who believes the Soldier Boy is not that type of person. But nevertheless, those pictures are starting to float around the internet with him in the same clothing or similar clothing as one of the shooters. I think that's all him trolling. But I just think it's so insensitive for him to be doing this. I know he had somewhat of a real conflict with Young Dolph very recently, but it's just like you're playing with your life, man. You're playing with your family's life. Forget all of that internet stuff. Forget all of that trying to keep up with the next guy's stuff, because I know that's what he's doing. Regardless of what the truth is, the bottom line is he's trying to keep up with someone else who made all types of attention and headlines, trolling and teetering the line between doing what he can on out in the streets and also entertaining people at the same time. In Tekashi 6ix9ine, we know how that turned out for him, and it seems to me that Big Draco over here is trying to top him. My question is, how far did he take this? Because I know a lot of people are running around the internet and they're saying he didn't do this, he didn't do this, he didn't do this. I'm not saying anything about regards to what is or isn't, because I know there's a lot of different factors that play into this. But my thing is, how far is he willing to take this I want to be famous thing? Because you're telling the world essentially that you had something to do with this. That's what he's doing. That is exactly what he's doing out here. And regardless if it's some WWF, WWE, entertainment, I'm Big Draco, this is not the time to do that. I don't know what type of brand you are trying to sell. He has a lot of different things that he's trying to sell. Is this what your brand is about? How far are you taking this, bro? Because it seems to me it's like you've lost sight of what it is that you were about. You were a businessman. You were a father. This is crash dummy stuff. This is I'm ready to leave the earth type stuff. And I'm looking at it and saying, if he's doing this, how far did he take it, man? Like, seriously. And it's just like, what he said online. Saw the footage. I don't think he was serious. He put up the money. He said he would do this. He said we got that. It's all on the internet. And I saw it myself, and I'm like, man, this is not a difficult case. Unfortunately, this ain't difficult. And it's like, brother, why are you doing this? Why are you doing this? Like, you've already solidified yourself as a legend. What was going on with this dude is it was in the streets had to do with him in the streets. I listened to what he was talking about in their conflict. That ain't nothing that should have gotten to nothing like crashing out, smoking backwoods, and disrespecting people when they've passed and all this. I don't know where this is coming from. But to me, it just seems like, that aspect of the conversation is important, because we're going to see some fallout from this. You've already begun to with him, losing endorsements. But next comes the feds. Next comes Draco in cuffs. Because this is not to be played with. Dolph was a very respected individual in his city by many people, including people who were involved in different things that were official, just like Nipsey Hussle. And this situation then runs deep, which is why I personally don't think Soulja Boy really had anything to do with this, because it just, like Nipsey Hussle, Dolph was similar in a lot of ways. And he was involved in a lot of different things, including real estate, that people were maybe not been privy to, getting his hands involved in different things that were very, very, very important. And it just seems to me when people like that start doing stuff like that, suddenly, coincidentally, now street beef start popping up. Now all of a sudden, it's like, do I think that this was something that could have been just as simple as somebody hating around the neighborhood and just, yeah, it could be something like that. Old beefs from different stuff, maybe. Who knows? The streets may know. But to me, just looking at it from afar, mm-mm. There's too many different things going on right here. Soldier Boy over there crashing out for fame, but this is something else to me. This is something else. Um, yeah, the shooters look like they were people from around the way, but all it takes is somebody saying, "Yo, I got this amount. That's that." And it just seemed to me that whole thing was set up. It was set up, man. It was set up. So I'm sure the details will come out later on about what actually happened. I'm just speculating, but it's just sad all the way around. So I pray for the family of Young Dolph, his wife and his kids, his mother, you know what I'm saying, and the owners of the cookie store as well. I feel for them, not only as it pertains to them losing their business for hopefully temporarily, but also as it pertains to what they had to experience or what it is they're being kind of just the internet is running with right now. Because I've heard some stuff, man. People just running with speculations as the internet does, and it's very insensitive. You know what I mean? But at the end of the day, when you don't know, everybody can run with whatever. So what we do know is we saw pictures of the shooters. What we also know is that Soldier Boy is insinuating, both before this has happened and now, that he's cooperating with the situation itself in whatever way, shape, or form. Do you understand what I mean by that? He's trying to tell all of us, hey, this is what's up. And you know what? I'm looking at it. I'm saying, you ain't 6'9", bro. Don't go out like 6'9". And then a part of me says, are you like 6'9", in a sense that this is the type of thing where you start asking questions, conspiracy stuff. It's like, all right, your mind starts wandering. And mine will always do that because I don't know what's what. But stuff like this makes you wonder if the feds are involved already. It's like you trying to smoke them out. Like you trying to smoke out the real killers by saying, "Yo, I did this," and then they say, "No, I did this," and then somebody gets arrested. Is it one of those? Because nothing else makes any sense, to be honest with you. You know what I mean? Not to say I know nothing. I have no idea. But like when you try to piece together why a person would want to put themselves out there to say that they did something, when you know damn well that they probably ain't really built like that. Not to say I know who that man is, but just listening to the energy around the situation. No, 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 no. Whatever happened to this man runs deep, and I'm pretty sure we'll find out what happened eventually because those kids gonna get caught. That's what it really come down to. Those people, those shooters, they gonna catch them. If the pictures are too clear, the body types are too distinctive. And see, that's another thing. Their body types, they're distinctive. Like those dudes, they're not just sticks. You know what I mean? They look a certain way. So somebody from wherever they're from is gonna recognize them, and things will transpire because Dolph was too loved, man. This is just like I said, like Nipsey all over again. And I'm pretty sure, Memphis is gonna be a very, very difficult place to live right now. You know what I mean? That's why I just want to send good energy to y'all, man. If you live in that area, uh, not only for what it is that you're feeling, but for what it is that you'll have to guard against at this point, because I know how it goes. But like I said, I'm from LA, and I know Nipsey's passing kind of brought the city together, and it brought some people to peace. You know what I mean? And that's because a good man passed. So, I think that's something similar could take place here, and hopefully y'all follow our lead on that, because that was an amazing event. Even though it was tragic, you wouldn't be able to believe the type of love and energy that was in the air for about 2 weeks while people were mourning. You know what I mean? And then the transpired thereafter was a lot of compromise and a lot of different levels of peace. So it was a good movement. even amongst the circumstances. I'm hopeful for the same thing in Memphis, man. And I listen to what people are saying in Memphis. I was listening to some different people sitting in chat rooms, stuff like that, just saying that they're different pieces. And a lot of people who were speaking in the chat room I was listening to were basically saying they were from Memphis, and they were tied in whatever way, shape, or form, and they didn't believe that the people who did this were either from Memphis, or if the people who did do this were from Memphis, they think like me, they would put up to it and given some money to do this. So it's just sad, man. Poverty will drive a person to do a lot of different things, and you couple that with the different cultures that we tend to promote. You know what I mean? It ain't too hard to find somebody that'll be willing to do this. That's the sad thing about it. You know what I mean? We're in a time where even if a person isn't necessarily like that, just to prove themselves, they may try to do something like that, just because it's what everyone else wants to be seen as. That kind of thing. And it's just, life is at an all-time low, it seems. Standards are at an all-time low, and I just think we need to turn it around. And I hope that maybe this particular thing can kind of start the process of maybe changing some of the conversations that are being had. Some of this stuff ain't cool, man. Some of the things that we are on, that we promote, that we are just okay with, some of this stuff is not sustainable for our communities. Different culture of revenge and stuff like that. We need to find a way to not allow it to eradicate us fully. And I think we need to also start having conversations about how we found ourselves in these various environments, and how we found ourselves in these circumstances. When we start having those conversations, we can start waking up out of some of these conflicts, start realizing that maybe the enemy isn't necessarily our brothers, isn't necessarily who may have shot us. It might have been who put us in a position to be angry with each other in the first place, put us in this poverty-stricken position to have to fight each other in this barrel. You know what I mean? So I think once people start waking up in that way, get a couple of dollars in their pocket, start realizing what type of options they have, maybe we stop taking these type of bags. Maybe we stop taking these type of chances with our lives, in the name of trying to be loyal to something that ain't gonna elevate us, ain't gonna give us no kind of generational wealth, don't have no future to it. You gotta ask yourself, when you live a certain way, when you're having children and you live a certain way, you show them how to live that way. Maybe you survive that life, but will they? Are you sure that in the event you're raising your kids and bringing your money, your bread back home, are you sure that the type of behavior that you display and the type of culture that you represent won't be the very thing that eradicates your children, keeping them from being able to push forth your seed and your legacy? When you go outside, you do all you do, you come back home, you love your kids, you say you do it for your kids, right? But they gonna go outside and do what you did. Will they be able to live to see themselves have kids because of this behavior that they learn from you and learn from the people who behave like you? At some point in time, we got to start having some real conversations. Are we stepping on our own foot? Are we cutting off our own nose to spite our own faces? And we mad at our own race. And look, sometimes it's just us messing with us. Sometimes you do have real problems with a person that look like you. But other times it's just us trying to keep up with a culture that ain't really meant to keep us alive. When you do the math, this wipes us out. We keep this up. Yeah, he killed your brother. Yeah, he killed your brother. That person killed your brother. You gotta get him back. Gotta get him back. We're killing off our soldiers. We're killing off our people. Ain't gonna have nobody left. And I think those who put you in that barrel, they were kind of hoping you'd do that. You're in the middle of their plan, I think. So I think it's time for us to start looking around, start kind of wondering some things that maybe we aren't wondering right now because we too busy trying to trying to be this way. I don't know. I know when a person's grieving, they don't care about that. And I know if something happened to me or if something happened to somebody I love, you know, it would be a lot of different things to consider in those moments. I can't think like that right now. But what I'm saying is if you zoom out, this revenge stuff, it ain't killing your enemy. It's killing your everything. You're killing your race. That's all it's doing. So you gotta ask yourself, you killing in the name of your loved ones. Your loved ones lived. They passed. They were killed, maybe in the name of someone who passed. You know, it's like you feel your feelings and then you wait for your bullet, I guess, to your karma. I mean, again, what is your work for? What are you fighting for, really? What is your loyalty for to? If your brothers are just gonna die for you, we living to die. I mean, it got to be more than that. If that's the case, what are we doing? You want to get money? You can't keep your money. You go to jail, the government takes it all. You're making it for them. You see what I'm saying? It's like, what are we trying to accomplish? You know? I mean, it's like the streets are going to be the streets. People going to do whatever they do outside. That ain't got nothing to do with me. I don't know nothing about that. But what I am saying is the specifics of somebody taking $1, not an assassin, not a paid killer. I'm talking about regular teenagers taking $1 to mow somebody down. That's what I'm referring to. Because that's what I think this is. Now, whoever's behind it, that's somebody with some money, man. At the end of the day, however you want to look at it, you know what I'm saying? That's why the beginning of this video started the way that it did, because at the end of the day, I do believe that was not those kids who thought that up, not those shooters who thought this up. But that goes down a rabbit hole that I don't have enough information to even really talk too much about. But it's just sad, man. It's just sad. Rest in peace to Young Dolph. Rest in peace to everybody who's been lost to gun violence in general. You know, and that's what I have to say. My name is BDF44. Thank y'all for watching. I'm out.